Remember the operative question that you were asked dozens and dozens of times when you came through this program. Tell me what you're like when you're at your best. When you really feel like you're being yourself. When you're free of anxiousness and worry and self-consciousness and you just find yourself feeling really alive. What's that like for you? Do you remember being asked this question when you came through this program? And in the beginning, it's odd. You're not used to being asked that question. In fact, usually you're asked the opposite question. Tell me your problems. How are you when you're at your worst? Let me coddle you and hug you and get you a cup of tea and it'll all be okay. And instead I'm going, how are you when you're not having problems? Because by that age, you've all had that experience of what it's like to be free. True? Yeah. So Katie, I was joking with Katie because I remember she came to at least two programs. You were about 15, 16 years old. And we had these chairs that swiveled. Do you remember this?
I think it was the same.
Yeah, I think it was at this venue too.
It wasn't.
Maybe we can get those chairs again. Because as soon as I saw Katie today, I haven't seen her in 5 years. I said, do you sit still yet? And she says, no, well, I mean, I can now. Because she sat there and she swiveled back and forth in her chair. And what that told me was that as she would get excited about these ideas, there was a certain tempo that she moved with. So there was the nervous Katie when she first showed up in the room, which was like this, and then there was the kind of this Katie. There was a certain kind of tempo. And when she would be in that tempo and that certain kind of movement in herself, it would be easy to ask these questions about like this, what do you want to be doing? What are you drawn to? What fascinates you? What captures your attention? What kind of people do you want to be with? What kind of person do you want to be? What do you realize about yourself? Because I think if you're going to answer those questions, answer it from this position of being at your best, where you feel most authentic, and then notice what answers come up. And as you do this, consistent things begin to emerge. The more we would interact with you, the more we interact with teens who go through this program, begin to notice certain things about them. And some of it we point out to them explicitly. I notice how you always use this phrase, or you keep referencing stories about this particular thing, or these books you like to read, this dream you have to write a screenplay, that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff we point out explicitly and some we don't, such as every time that you answer a question like this, you slow down, you sit up a little bit taller, you change your posture, you relax. In the beginning, and I'm telling you, if you think it's for teenagers awkward when we point that stuff out, see what it's like for adults. They feel completely exposed. Oh my God. And they immediately go back to self-preservation mode. And oh yes, it's very interesting. Well, who cares if it's interesting? Make it an intellectual construct. It's a different thing to live it.